Hello and welcome to the Film Pulse Podcast. This is episode number 224. My name is Adam Patterson. Joining me today, we got Kevin Rakestraw. How you doing, Kevin?
Doing pretty good.
That's good. It's good to hear.
Yeah. How you doing?
I'm doing all right. I can't complain.
That's good.
Can't complain. This week on the show, we'll be reviewing the collaborative film Collective Unconscious. We were going to do another one, but Kevin dropped the ball.
Right, we were. I guess so.
No, you did.
I guess.
You did.
It's just I don't have any time. There's no time. Ain't no time.
Kevin got a dog this weekend, so...
Got too much going on. I actually had my nephew sleep over, too.
Oh, shit.
That was different, dude. I never had that happen before.
Oh, really?
Plus, I had to mow, too. Whew.
Got too much.
I had to do all... We got birthday parties? I mean, there's so much going on.
No time to watch a moody period piece?
I tried. I asked the kids last night. I was like, hey, do you guys want to watch Childhood of the Leader? And they were like, what? I'm like, Brady Corbett. And they're like, what? I was like, I guess not. They weren't having it.
Guess they weren't big fans of Simon Killer.
No, they weren't. I tried to get them to watch the Legos movie, and they wouldn't even do that.
Wow. What did they want? What did they watch? Thomas the Tank Engine?
No, they ended up showing me some game. I forget what the fuck this game's called, but keep in mind they're like 11 and 7. It's called like Crazy Wheels or Happy Wheels or something like that. It's like ragdoll physics. And the main thing that they play is it's called Kill Your Boss, and you just hurl yourself at someone, and then you crash out a window. And then you fall, and then your body explodes, and blood goes everywhere.
Nice.
So, and actually, thinking about it, Childhood of a Leader probably would have been...
That probably would have been tame in comparison.
It probably would have been. Does anyone explode in Childhood of a Leader?
No.
Okay,
it's not
so there
even...
you go.
Yeah, because they probably wouldn't have understood any of it at all. So they probably would have put him to sleep, would be my guess.
Oh, yeah. They would have been disappointed that no one exploded.
No, nobody explodes. I'm trying to think of if somebody gets hit in the head. That's about it.
Okay.
That's about it.
Okay.
So we're going to talk about some other stuff we've been watching on the watch list, movie predictions, new on video on demand, Blu-ray releases. Not much in the news realm this week. A bunch of festival lineups have been announced. So the New York Film Festival announced their main slate. Toronto announced their ridiculous number of movies. We put the Midnight Madness lineup on the site, and then the main slate of the New York Film Festival. So you can go to the site, see the full list of those. A lot of good stuff coming out of that. Coming out of both of those festivals. What else? Star Wars got a new trailer, Rogue One.
Oh, yeah?
Fantastic new trailer. Yeah. Super excited about this one. Very, very excited. Cannot wait. Looks amazing. Yeah.
I'm pretty stoked based on the first one.
Yeah. Ben Mendelsohn is the bad guy. Come on. I mean, that alone.
Well, yeah, essentially, what more do you want?
That alone. Incredible. All right, let's dive into Collective Unconscious. So this is a series of short films that are compiled, that it kind of revolves around 5 directors that are interpreting the other's dreams, right?
Correct.
So, I don't have the list here of the directors. Oh, here we go.
What we got?
Yeah, so we have Daniel Patrick Carbone, Lauren Wolkstein, Lily Baldwin, Francis Bodomo, and Josephine Decker. Right?
There you go.
List.
There's your 5.
Okay. Now, Kevin, and this is like, it's not a leading question or anything, but I'm just wondering, which one of these 5 segments do you think I liked the most?
That you liked the most?
Yeah, I mean, it's not. There's not. I mean, it's not like a trick question or anything.
My guess, I have it down to 2. It's got to be one of these 2.
Yep. There were 2 that I was debating on which one I liked.
I'm gonna say that. I want to say Everybody Dies.
I think that was my favorite.
And then the other one would have been Black Soil, Green Grass.
Yeah, I think so.
Which was the first one?
Yes, the first one. Yes. Yep. It was funny because when the first one started up, I was like, "Oh man, this is gorgeous." And as it progressed, I was like, "I am really into this." And I was like, "Wow, this is how you start off one of these kind of." I don't know if I'd call this an anthology movie. I mean, I guess it sort of is.
Yeah, I mean, loosely, because there's not really like a thread throughout them.
No.
I think this was originally created, they were going to do like a web series.
Well, it's listed on IMDb as a TV series, so yeah. I don't know. Either way, they started off really strong with that one, Black Soil, Green Grass. Holy crap. It's basically, it's shot in black and white, and it basically takes place in some kind of dystopian future where, like, there's this loop that's playing over a loudspeaker on a tower that I guess if you hear it, you die.
Yeah, it seems like it starts eating your brain from the temples, or from your ears, I guess.
Yeah, and there was one scene in it where this girl kills herself, and the way that she did it was, I thought, really, I mean, it was sad and kind of horrifying, but at the same time it was really creative, and the way that it was shot with the headphones hanging, like, it just looked awesome. Like, that one was so well done. I was big fan.
I gotta say, out of the 5, and I know that the other ones aren't really going for this either, but that one I was like, I could watch a feature of that. Like, you could turn that into a, and I would easily watch.
Yeah, and I thought that too, because it seemed like there was so much there. Like, I felt like there was a lot more to that world that could be explored. Now, that kind of brings me to my next thought, is that going into this, I knew the premise. I knew that it was short films that were interpreting dreams, and right away I was like, I'm not into this, because I hate it when people tell me their dreams.
And it's I don't know if you read my review, but my whole opening paragraph is that. Oh, because I hate anytime someone's like, "Well, I had a dream last night." I'm just like, nope.
Yeah, I don't care. I cannot stand it. I don't give a shit. And I think that part of it is because I don't believe when people tell me their dreams. Like, I don't believe that that's really what happened in your dream. I think that maybe some of that happened and you're filling in the blanks. And I think that's like, that was one thing that I was thinking about during this, was like, you didn't dream this. Like, you did not dream this. There's no way. And then, but then
I think that, I think it's more of they probably dreamed like a little nugget.
Right. And then, then I thought, like,
if you interpret it.
I kind of grew to accept it. Like, I was like, okay, this is a loose interpretation of these dreams. This is probably not even remotely close to what the person actually dreamed. But the thing is, all 5 of them, to me, were really interesting. Like, I enjoyed all of them. I thought that one of them was weaker than the others.
Yeah,
and you can probably guess which one I thought. Or maybe you can guess. I don't know. It was the second one. I'll just say that.
I was kidding. I was gonna guess, but I wasn't thinking the second one.
The second one I thought was the weakest, because I just didn't think there was a whole lot to that one. Just a lot of. I'm not a big fan of like modern, like, interpretive dance.
Now, see, this is the most for me. This experience was the most. This was the most enlightening portion for it. For me, was I'm starting to come around to that, because I liked First Day Out. I thought that was really interesting the way that she had that set up with with the
Right.
audio playing
Now,
and then
yeah,
and the cinematography of it and everything is gorgeous.
right. Let me just say first off, it's not that I didn't like that one. I just thought it was the weakest of the 5. I thought that a lot of the technique that she used in that was really great. How you had the kind of long, very long takes in that, and just there's a lot of movement. There were a lot of moving pieces to that one, and I liked that.
Yeah.
I just didn't find it very substantial, I guess.
Well, and it works perfectly in here because it shows up, it's interesting, and then it gets out.
Right, and I think that's probably the shortest one. At least it felt the shortest of the 5.
It looks like it's only about 10 minutes long.
Yeah,
which everybody does. It looks like it's only about.
Well, that one also was one that the premise, the setup of that one was. I mean, you couldn't make it much longer than that, or else it would get kind of repetitive.
Yeah.
I liked that one because it was just so cynical. It was just so pointed,
and just everything about it, just like the look of it,
the VHS like old
and how it kept
old school 80s public access.
The song,
mm-hmm. Oh, the song was fantastic! Holy crap!
And how it kept cutting into the technical difficulties at the beginning. Mm-hmm. And essentially, it's just killing a bunch of kids.
Yeah. A lot of kids. Killing a lot of kids. I loved it when the 2 white kids ended up and she was like, you're in the wrong place.
They get to go to the room with the cookies, which I thought was interesting because it's called Everybody Dies, but the white kids don't. It's just the black kids.
Yeah. Very pointed, that one.
Yeah. That's the one that kind of got me off guard. Like, oh shit!
Yeah,
like we're doing this. Okay.
Well, which one? Wow. Which one was your favorite?
My favorite would probably be. Oh man, I think maybe Everybody Dies. They're all kind of tied, really. Separate for me. I think it's easier to go this route. For me, the weakest was Bemis. It'll End in Tears, the gym teacher one. And again, it's kind of like you. It's not to say that I didn't like it. I just, out of the 5, that's the one that, if I had to pick one, I could do without.
I gotta say,
but I did when he started. They get into the crab walk circle.
Yeah, and he's crabbing all over the place.
That's. I mean, at first that's kind of fun, and you have the camera's kind of like slowly moving its way into, and he's standing there, and I mean, he's so into it, and he's yelling out at them, and you still have no clue what the hell's going on in this dream, which was the only one out of the 5 that actually felt like a weird dream to me. Mm-hmm. It was like, this is a dream.
Well, because there's a lot of like kind of tropes that you have in your dreams, right? Like everybody has the dream, the high school dream. Like I think everybody has that where they're back in high school. Mine is personal. The one that I personally have is that I'm lost. That it's like the first day of school and I don't know how to get to class. That's my recurring one. And
I've lived that so many times, so I guess I don't dream that anymore.
You lived it. I mean, it's happened to me in real life, of course, too. Because
my subconscious is like, nah, we already did that. That shit's played out.
I liked the Bemis one. I thought it was fun.
Well, and then he gets down and starts barking out the orders and stuff while crab walking. Like just through the frame, you see him because the camera's not really even fixed on anything. It's kind of fixed on the wall behind them, and it's just slowly moving in on them. And just seeing him dart around the screen, because holy shit, can that guy crab walk? I don't know if I've ever seen anyone crab walk that well.
Yeah. He's a speedy crab walker.
Yeah, I mean, he's got fucking skills when it comes to crab walking.
Definitely. I gotta say, I was really, really surprised by this whole collection because there wasn't a single one that I was like, all right, I'm ready for this to be over. I thought that they were all a perfect length, and I actually found myself being very, very entertained by all of them. And Yeah, I think.
Well, and that's kind of like what you touched on a little bit earlier. Is going into it, I'm thinking, okay, anthology films don't really have a great track record with them. There's always that added bonus that you're on to the next one, but still, I'm not that interested in it. And then you're telling me that they're dream interpretations, and I'm just like, no fucking way.
Yeah.
I don't. Like the last thing I want is to see someone's interpretation of a dream.
Yeah.
But I will say that they're better than hearing them.
Oh, absolutely. And I thought that they were going to be really out there. I thought they were going to be really abstract and have a lot of crazy imagery and just be really random. And they really weren't. I mean, they all had a very clear purpose. They all had kind of a narrative to them. And I appreciated that. Although, I mean, certainly there's some weird moments in pretty much all of them, but it all felt like it was part of the narrative. It didn't feel like just how, in real dreams, we just have these random, weird, strange things happening.
I did. I liked the reimagining of that possession scene in the last short film.
Yeah.
It just goes on and on. And at first I was like, oh God, what is this?
Yeah.
And then about, a couple seconds into it, I was just like, this is fucking great.
Yeah. I
don't know what it is, but I love this.
Yeah, we didn't really talk about the last one. The all hypnosis is self-hypnosis. Is that the last one?
No.
Swallowed, sorry. Yeah. I was looking.
By Lily Baldwin, which she plays the lead in that. The one that's kind of having this freak out where she's just like vomiting milk everywhere while she's essentially freaking out in the kitchen. And I don't know what that was, but for some reason, inexplicably, I enjoyed it.
I think it was like her interpretation of just being overwhelmed with married life with children. And there's just the whole beginning part with the conversation about the shish kebabs, and I think it was just an interpretation of someone being completely overwhelmed.
And then she changed to she was going to the formula, and he was like, oh, I don't know about that. So she gives him a little taste of it by kissing him and then biting his fucking lip.
Yeah.
Of course he can handle it. And then, of course, she just starts vomiting milk for the next... It almost felt like 8 minutes.
Yeah,
it felt really long.
The sound in that one was very intense. Like all the sound was like heightened in that.
Well, that and the editing, the way she cut all those movements together and mixing it with because there's this interpretive dance too with like 5 or 6 people or whatever, and it's cutting in between that and then her freaking out in the kitchen, and it was something.
Yeah, that was definitely a bizarre one, but I enjoyed it. No, nonetheless.
Same here, and that's what I was saying. Like at that point in time, I'm like, I'm kind of getting into interpretive dance. I don't know exactly what it is.
It's kind of my thing now.
But I can get on board with this.
Yeah, I would definitely recommend checking this out, especially because it's free. I'm guessing it's still free, right?
Yeah. And you can go. There's 2 different routes for it. You can just go on Vimeo and just see it as is, and then on BitTorrent it's a deluxe version. So.
Oh yeah, and it has like all kinds of added like bonus stuff on the BitTorrent one.
Yeah. Deleted scenes, a complete remix of the entire film, 41-song mixtape.
Now, the other thing that we didn't really discuss was kind of, there's like sort of chapter breaks in this where you have this guy who is sort of hypnotizing the directors.
Yeah.
What did you think of that?
I could have done without that, because it seemed like that was like a remnant from them trying to make it a web series.
Yeah.
Like it almost felt like that's how they introduced it. They did the thing, and then you saw the film, and then there was a little bit at the end, and then they try and incorporate it into this, and I'm just like, I don't need it.
Right.
It's kind of pointless.
Yeah, it didn't add much. I liked the beginning part, like his intro at the beginning before the first one started. I liked that because I was like trying to play into it, you know, because he's sort of hypnotizing the audience or attempting to sort of hypnotize the audience. So I was trying to like play into it and let myself kind of be calmed by what he was saying and just mellow out. And it kind of worked.
I know. I'm looking at the comments here on Vimeo, and there's one that just says, "What is this? What sort of person do I need to be to appreciate this?" No one answered them.
Maybe you should.
Seems like he was being very serious. He wants to know what sort of person he needs to be. And I don't know what type of person you need to be.
I don't know. I just think you need to be open to interesting ideas and creative filmmaking. I mean, it's not that.
Yes, yeah.
Like, I was expecting something really out there and really experimental. Because I told you, I got a whole bunch of emails about this. And from what they were describing in the emails I was reading, I was like, oh, this sounds like they're going to be like doing a lot of crazy filters and messing with the visuals a lot and stuff. And I expected it to be something more of like an acid trip movie or something like that, you know?
Yeah,
like really abstract, and like I was expecting some of them to like not even have characters or anything and just be crazy shapes on the screen. But it wasn't like that at all. So I would say that if you're afraid of kind of going into this,
if you think it's going to be like too avant-garde or experimental,
it's not at all.
No.
It feels a lot like just any other normal anthology film. I mean, it's less on the horror side, but there's certainly some uncomfortable moments in it.
There is some horror in there. There is some like unsettling stuff where you're just like.
I think almost all of them have a darkness to them.
Yeah,
almost all of them.
It's very creative.
Yeah, really, it's really only the second one is the one that just is kind of joyous. So the other ones definitely have a darker quality to them.
Yeah.
So that's Collective Unconscious. I think you gave this 7.5 on the site. Is that correct?
Indeed. Yeah.
I think I'm sitting between a 7 and a 7.5 on this as well. So it's.
And you know what else that I thought of like immediately after finishing this? I thought, you know what? I would like to see more of this. Like at first I wasn't on board with the whole idea of like, okay, you have one director and they have a dream and then another director comes in and like kind of reinterprets it or whatever. But from seeing this, like, let's keep doing this.
I would love to see that. Like have Calvin Lee Reeder do one. I would just like have really like other interesting directors do it.
Yeah, just independent filmmakers. Just doing some interesting things.
Like I would love to see Lee Janiak do one. Just mix it up. Yeah. And you could throw in like comedy directors interpret, some of the directors that are typically do like genre, like horror movies and stuff, and mix it up. I think it'd be great. I think it's a really cool concept, and I definitely would like to see more.
Yeah, I would totally be on board for that, which is really surprising because, like I said, going into it, I was just essentially read it and I was like, no.
Well, yeah, that's why, because you were the one that suggested this one, and I was like surprised because I was.
Well, the only reason is because who the directors are. I was like, I don't like this concept, but these are good directors. Yeah. It's got to at least be interesting.
Yeah, and it was. Yeah, it definitely was. So check it out again. It's Collective Unconscious. Collective:_Unconscious.
There you go.
Check it out for free. Vimeo or BitTorrent. I don't know how you'd even get it on BitTorrent. Like, is there a site that you go to? I don't even know how that.
Yeah, I have it in the review. I have links to both.
Ah, cool.
I'm always looking out for you guys.
Right. Well, there you have it. Let's move on and talk about some of what we've been watching on the watch list. I'll start it off this week. I saw The Childhood of a Leader.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
I've heard about this. I wanted to check this out at some point in time.
So this is Brady Corbett's directorial debut. And it's so weird because this is a dude. He's like He's not even 30 yet. He's like 27. And he's an American dude, and he directs this very European film. And it is, I think it's probably one of the best movies I've seen this year so far. It's so good. It is so good, Kevin. I was pretty much enamored by this. Basically, it's about, it takes place right at the end of World War I and follows a family who their son will later become a fascist dictator. Sort of, I mean, it's not Hitler, but it's a Hitler-like figure. And it kind of just explores the foundation of what makes that type of man. And it stars Berenice Bejo, and Robert Pattinson's in there, and Liam Cunningham. And it's great. Like I was very, very into this movie. It's a little plotting. Like it meanders a little bit. But they're just the look. I mean, holy crap! The cinematography in this, like where they live in France, and it's just the countryside, and their home is just so immaculately designed. It's pretty incredible. And I'm not into period pieces, but this is definitely the right way to do a period piece, at least for me. It's a thriller. I mean, and the score in this movie is out of control. It is so good. And the score...
Scott Walker.
The score plays very heavily. I mean, it is front and center of this movie. And it is so good. I mean, I was kind of blown away by all the music in this. And again, I'll say this. I've said this multiple times in the show over the years that I'm not a big... I don't typically notice a score unless it really sticks out to me. And this one is just, it's so prominent. But it's yeah.
It seems like it's usually one or the other with you. If it's really, really good, you'll notice it. And if it's like really irritating, it's terrible.
I mean, a lot of people, a lot of critics and other movie lovers, they really pay attention to the score in movies. But for the most part, I think that the score is always pretty generic to me. Like in most movies, I think that the scores are generic, especially Hollywood movies, like all of the superhero movies and stuff like that. It's just, I pay no attention to it because it just sounds generic to me. So whenever I hear a score that sticks out one way or the other, like you said, a lot of times if I know if it might not be sticking out for a good reason, it might be because it's so shitty. But in this case, it is phenomenal. So I would almost recommend seeing this movie based on the score alone. And it's rare that I say that.
Wow.
But either way, it is it's a definite recommend for me. Again, it's called The Childhood of a Leader, and it's available on VOD, so you can give this a rental. I rented it on Amazon, so you can check it out there.
Okay. The first one I have is a rewatch. And rewatching some of these 70s movies. Because once again, my wife hasn't seen this, and that's Deliverance.
Oh.
It's been a while since I've seen Deliverance.
Nice.
Which is on Netflix Instant. And this time around, I noticed two things. All right. The beginning, because I don't really remember much from this movie, except obviously the one that, the scene that we all know, even if you haven't watched it, you still know it.
Yeah, it's a pop culture thing.
And little bits here and there. And then the thing that first struck me was the kind of the conversation at the beginning where they're talking about the river and how they're going to making this man-made lake and how they're going to flood it out and everything. And he's talking about how they're raping the land, raping it. Mm-hmm. And it's just like, oh, geez, you're really foreshadowing that one. And then the main thing I noticed is Burt Reynolds' character in this movie is just a fucking dick. He's so awful. I just hated him so much.
He's not a likable character. I don't know if he's supposed to be likable.
No, he's not supposed to be.
I think Voight's supposed to be the likable one.
And even to a certain point, Voight is kind of. I didn't really like any of them.
Well, they're honest. Not. I don't think. I mean, because that's like the whole thing, right? Is like they're these city guys coming in, trying to get in touch with nature, and they're like posers. They're trespassing on this land.
Except for Burt Reynolds, I guess he actually does. He actually is pretty good at what he's doing.
Yeah,
except when he gets fucked at the end.
Yeah, he gets fucked up.
But it's one of those. It seems like it kind of peaks early, and you just kind of like take your time, get into, and the how they try and cover up what happens. It's just really stupid too. Where they're just like at the end, they're like, "We'll say this is our story. This is what we're gonna say has happened." And it's like, dude,
nobody's gonna believe that shit.
Yeah, like your other fucking canoe or whatever broke like 15 miles upstream. Like, how do you explain that? Like, they're going to find out. Come on. And immediately, that's like the first thing. It's like, how did your canoe get upstream? He's like, you dumb sons of bitches.
Well, they had a traumatic experience, Kevin. Just give them a break.
Yeah. It's a bit ridiculous. It seems like the 70s was just like, let's make everything terrifying.
Yeah.
People in the mountains, let's make them terrifying. Sharks, let's make them terrifying. Everything. Birds, let's do it. Fucking everything. Everything's trying to kill white people.
Everything is trying to kill you in the 70s. You're pretty much screwed if you lived back then.
And that makes me wonder if, because like there's things nowadays where we see it, like the things that are popular. Everyone's like jumping on this kind of story, and they're just like, "Oh, give me a fucking break! Another one of these movies." Do you think that that's like what was happening back in the 70s? They're like, "Oh God, now they're trying to survive the fucking river and mountain men."
I don't think so. I think because it was such a boom,
so new.
These types of movies were just so new, and they were just. I mean, like the film industry was just in a boom during this time, and I think people were just happy that these new kinds of movies were coming out.
Love it.
Yeah, definitely.
So Deliverance is pretty good. It's not as good as Jaws, but it's pretty good.
Oh yeah, no, I think most people agree with you on that.
Yeah, I would hope so.
I mean, there's some great things about Deliverance, but it is not coming close to Jaws for me, at least. No. I saw Sausage Party.
Oh.
Yeah, so I saw the first R-rated animated movie ever made, according to Ryan.
There's never been one, ever.
I don't know where he heard that or where he thinks he heard that.
I love that not only did he hear that, but he believes it full force. And he will fight you.
He's like, well, that's what it said. And it's like, well, no, there's no way it said that. Actually, he might have saw it. There is a synopsis on Letterboxd. It says, Sausage Party, the first R-rated CG animated movie.
Oh, there you go. He forgot the CG part.
Yeah, that's probably what it is. So Sausage Party, I went into this expecting it to be just nonstop laugh riot, because that's what I've been reading. I read that it's just so outrageous, so funny. And I gotta say, I mean, I'm sure that it has, obviously comedy is extremely subjective, but it really didn't do it for me. I thought that there were some parts that were very funny, but for the most part, it is deliberately being as lowbrow and bottom of the barrel as it possibly can be. I mean, this is like probably, it is so gratuitously lowbrow that it's like, it takes it to almost ridiculous levels. It's just nonstop food puns and sex jokes involving food. And also, it's very, it's kind of tasteless in that it just stereotypes everybody. So like, for instance, the bagel was played by Edward Norton, and he was doing like a Woody Allen impersonation. Mm-hmm. So like they're just ethnic stereotypes, racial stereotypes, sexual stereotypes. So like Twinkie, there's a Twinkie and he was a twink. Like,
of course, yeah.
And all the fruits were gay because they're fruits.
Oh, okay.
You know, get it?
Yeah. I get it, yeah.
There was they go to like the liquor section, and Bill Hader plays Firewater, and he was of course a Native American character. So it's like, you know, pretty politically incorrect, and I think that maybe we needed a movie like this. Maybe we needed a movie that just kind of threw taste out the window and was like, you know what? Shit's funny. Just go with it. So to that, I kind of appreciated it. And the other thing that really surprised me is this whole movie's about religion. Like, the whole thing is about religion. And it's like, so basically the premise is that all the food has this religion, and they look at humans as gods, and they believe nothing except what this one specific song is that they sing every morning. And they refuse to believe anything else, and they kind of lash out against anybody that kind of questions their belief system. So it's, the whole thing is just taking the piss out of organized religion. And that was kind of that was definitely a component that I did not pick up on in any of the trailers or anything. I will also say at the end of the movie, I don't know if this is a spoiler. It's probably a spoiler. There's an extended scene that happens at the end of the movie that is so vile and vulgar that it's pretty shocking to see that in an animated film. But overall, I was a little meh on it. I'd probably give it like maybe a 5.5 out of 10, or maybe a 6, but more so 5.5.
And you know, kind of the thing that I talked about, one of the reasons that I don't want to see this, because I don't think that you can do that for like an hour and a half. Would it work for me? Do you think it would work for me, or
probably not? I don't think the humor would work for you. That's the thing. I think that everything hinges on the humor, and a lot of it at least didn't. The humor really didn't work for me. It worked for the audience I went to see it with. Holy crap, they were just
eating that shit up.
They were just laughing it up. But, you know, I saw this other review on Letterboxd where it said he went to a packed theater and nobody laughed. So I think that it's, you know, it's just one of those things. They were hooting and hollering at my screening. And I'm not saying that it wasn't funny. I laughed at some of the jokes, but most of them just didn't work for me. They were just too silly.
It doesn't sound that funny, really.
What they did to kind of combat to keep it kind of moving was that they actually had several plots happening at once, so they jumped back and forth. So like most of, like, Seth Rogen plays Frank, the sausage or the hot dog, and all of his buddies and all of the people that he kind of hung out with in the supermarket, they went home. Like they went home, and through a series of events, he ends up being left at the supermarket. So his story and Kristen Wiig's story takes place at the supermarket, and then Jonah Hill and Michael Cera, they're like out in the real world. So they're out in the home of the person that bought them. So there's kind of two storylines that converge, and the villain is actually voiced by Nick Kroll, and he plays a douchebag, and his in his character he's like a dude bro. So I thought that was pretty funny that he was the douche. And that's the kind of humor it is. It's like super on the nose, just puns nonstop.
Which sounds like it would get old quick.
It does, but some of the puns were funny. Some of them worked.
Yeah.
They were worth a chuckle, but I don't know. I just was a little lukewarm on it. And the animation wasn't nearly as bad as what the trailers made it out to be. The trailers made it look really shitty, but it actually was decent. It wasn't like Pixar level or anything, but it's pretty good.
I think I would find it funnier if it was Pixar level. Like if they just sunk a ton of money into it.
Yeah, and everything looked super real.
As beautiful as possible.
To answer your because we were discussing this on Ryan Watches a Movie, because we were wondering about how the food interacts with the humans. They cannot, the humans cannot hear or see that the food is alive. The only way that they can is if they take bath salts. If you take some bath salts, then you can talk to the food and you can see it move and everything. And there's this kind of interesting twist at the very end that basically throws the whole thing out the window. And I don't know if I liked it or not. It felt a little messy, the final twist. But it set it up for a sequel, which I guess is cool. I don't know. Had a huge opening this weekend. It was the biggest animated film opening for August ever.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
And it also broke the record for highest grossing animated R-rated animated film.
Yeah, but how much of that was just people trying to get some AC?
I know, right? That was so brutal this weekend. Holy crap.
It's fucking awful. Okay, I watched a bunch of shorts, and this is because I enjoyed that Swallowed portion of Collective Unconscious, which was directed by Lily Baldwin. So guess what's on Fandor? A bunch of Lily Baldwin shorts. So I jumped on there, check them out. She, I guess, was a former like ballet dancer. So like all of her films have, dancing in them. So I checked them out, and that's why I was saying that I think I'm on the side of like interpretive dance now, to a certain extent, I guess. I guess at least Lily Baldwin's interpretive dance. I watched, there was a couple of them, like Sleeping with Frank is her kind of with this male dancer, and they kind of do like domestic like ballet, like, when they're laying in bed and he's getting ready for work, and her like cooking breakfast and that type of thing. They kind of like incorporate these dance
moves and everything.
Yeah, and it works really well. And then there's another one called Work on Me, which is like these two lovers doing a dance. And then like while they're doing it, and it's constantly like spinning and embracing and all this stuff. And the background keeps changing. Like it's in New York, and then it's in Paris. And it's just, but the dancing is always the same. Like that's one continuous movement. And then the location changes. And then there's another one where it's just like her taking off a trench coat, but she does in like this interpretive dance type thing. It's a soiree, which is this one's kind of bizarre because it's like a 60s like dinner party, and the camera's like fixed outside. So you're kind of like, it's kind of like a voyeurism type thing. And it starts out innocently enough, and then it kind of just falls apart into like debauchery and just weirdness, and just everyone's kind of like dancing with food all over their faces, and they all looked just miserable. And it's kind of bizarre and dark at the same time. It's just it's quite interesting. And then another one is a juice box afternoon, which is her like reading this novel, and then it keeps cutting between this like interpretive dance of the novel, but then it's like cut up with this like modern hip hop type deal. And I gotta say, like, out of watching everything, number one, the dancing it's fascinating, but the most interesting thing is, and she does like most of the editing, at least where there was a credit, and the editing is just completely on point. Like the movements and how it's punctuated with the music, and just, it's seamless. Just the way it's cut up, like the Sleeping with Frank, the domestic one, the soundtrack is Rat-a-tat. So she's doing it to Rat-a-tat, and it's cut up like everything. Like the dance moves are perfect with the music, but so is the editing points and everything. Like it's really impressive.
Interesting.
I think out of all of them, you would like that one a lot.
Yeah, I probably would. It sounds like I would like it. Have you seen that one? I was just searching while you're talking. There's a music video. For some reason, I can't find it right now. I'd have to look harder. But there was a music video I saw a few months back on Vimeo where it was ballet, but she was wearing swords on her legs, and there were like people standing around in blindfolds, and she was doing ballet, like slicing people up.
Oh my god!
If I find the video, I'll send it to you because it's like the craziest thing. Because I can't remember who the artist is in the video, but it was just, I saw it on Vimeo, and it was just a crazy ass thing. But it was like kind of beautiful at the same time.
I kind of want to just Google search like ballet sword legs.
That's actually kind of what I did. I Googled ballet sword.
Ballet sword legs.
Yeah, and I'm looking for it. I can't find it, but if I find it, I'll come back next week and report.
No.
Report on it. I saw Joshy.
Ooh.
Yeah, so this is directed by Jeff Baena. He's the guy that did Life After Beth, which I was not too fond of.
Oh, yeah.
However, this one I was actually quite fond of. This is an indie comedy, definitely an American indie comedy. I've seen it being described as mumblecore. I guess mumblecore is still a term being used. We use it a lot, actually, now that I think about it. We still use it. And that's kind of what it is. Basically, it stars Thomas Middleditch as this guy who, first scene of the movie, he's engaged to Alison Brie, and she kills herself in the first scene of the movie.
Oh, boy.
And it is such a shocking scene that it's, I don't know, it just sticks with you. It's the way that it was shot, because he's in their apartment. He's like at the gym that's in their apartment, and he's like working out, he's running, and he comes back and she's dead. And it's just the way that it was put together was such a crazy way to start this movie, which is a comedy, but I didn't realize it from the trailers, but it is a very dark comedy. And so they were going to be getting married, and he put a down payment on this this house, this like vacation house that was going to be for their bachelor party. And he decided to, you know what, I'm going to have my friends over anyway. We're just going to kind of make a thing of this. And this is like 4 months later. And his friends are played by Adam Pally, Alex Ross Perry, and Nick Kroll. And it's such a well-made little film. Like, each of them have their own kind of turmoil that they're going through. Like Alex Ross Perry, he and his girlfriend break up, so he's trying to deal with it, but he's kind of the antisocial one. Like, all he wants to do is play this really complex board game. Whereas Nick Kroll is kind of the party guy. He wants to go out and drink and keep the party going. And Adam Pally is kind of this domesticated guy who's married and has a kid, but he's kind of feeling the rut, of his life. He's smoking tons of weed to just kind of cope with everything. And then they end up meeting Jenny Slate, who joins them. She's in the area with her friends as well, and she's there with Aubrey Plaza and Joe Swanberg and Chris Swanberg show up at one point because they're friends with them also, and their son is also in it too. Judah, I think his name is.
Of course, Jude's in it.
Yeah. And they're only in it for one scene, but it's a pretty impactful scene. Paul Reiser's in it. He plays the father of Alison Brie's character. Jake Johnson has a little cameo in it too. He plays the hot tub repair guy. And I really enjoyed this. It's light. I mean, sorry, I don't want to say it's light as in like the content, because the content is surprisingly heavy. But when I say it's light, I mean there's like, it's mostly just conversations. Like it's mostly just them trying to deal with the various issues in their lives, very much like any other kind of mumblecore type movie.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed it tremendously. I thought it was really good. This is available on VOD as well, so you can check it out. It's called Joshy. And Thomas Middleditch, man, he's great, and he really kind of shows his range in this. Like, there's some serious moments, some very emotional scenes, and he handles them really well.
I don't know if I've ever seen him in anything.
You haven't watched Silicon Valley at all?
No, I have not yet.
Oh.
You know, I'm behind, dude. Like, I just started Hannibal, okay?
That show lost me big time.
I don't understand. I don't understand that show.
I had to force feed it. Like, I had to force...
I don't know what people are saying.
Yeah, I had to force it because I watched like the first couple episodes and then I dropped it completely, and then I came back and essentially had to force myself to get through the rest of the first season.
Well, I did the first episode, which I'm always, I'm like, okay, this is the first. You can't judge it on the first episode. Give the second episode a shot. And it's just his whole, like, where he's like,
it's annoying.
In the crime scene, to the fucking wiping shit. And he like walks back. This is my plan. I'm just like, shut the fuck up. Yeah, this show is so terrible.
Yeah, it's really annoying. It's a shame too, because it, like, visually, that show is pretty gorgeous.
Well, that's the thing that gets there's other sections of it where it's like, man, this is great. This is great TV. And then it's immediately followed by something that's just horrendous. And you're like, oh wait, no, this is awful TV. This is just bad. This is really bad. And I don't know if I can do it anymore.
Speaking of TV, started watching The Get Down.
Dude, I'm so excited for this.
Have you dove into it?
I didn't start it. I'm working on the Hannibal thing, and I also started Sherlock. That was the other thing.
Oh, okay.
Started Sherlock, which I wasn't really into that one either.
Nah, that one lost me too. Yeah, that one lost me too.
It's kind of all over the place. I really don't like Benedict Cumberbatch. I just don't like him.
I like him. That show, the first two series of that show, I thought were okay, but then when they started coming out with the specials and like the third series, the third series.
Well, it's just I just don't understand, like, why is Sherlock such a dick? Like, why is he just such an asshole?
That's just who he is.
Like, I just hate him.
That's just who he is.
And then all of a sudden, like the third episode, they're like, oh, he has a sense of humor and he's joking around. It's like, what?
Well, you need to drop the Sherlock shit, drop the Hannibal shit, and watch The Get Down, because I will say this.
Yeah.
Don't go into it expecting Stranger Things level of goodness. Like, because it's not hitting that level. It does not hit that level. It's very cheesy. It is cheeseball to the max, which is unfortunate because it's really the only knock I have against it. Everything else is fantastic. Like, it has a really interesting look to it. It's like so it's from Baz Luhrmann, and I hate pretty much everything he does. But the way that this one is designed, it looks like a musical. It looks like it looks like a theatrical musical. Yeah. So it doesn't have a very real look to it, and the way that it's cut together and edited, and the way that the actors act in this, it doesn't feel realistic. It's very over the top, and kind of everything about it's very stylized. Like the music cues, just the movement of the characters, everything is very overly stylized, which I kind of really wasn't expecting I didn't really pick up on that from the trailers. But once you kind of get over, okay, this is what it is, like this is the style, I was really into it. I mean, I'm a huge hip hop guy, as you are. Mm-hmm. So seeing a show about, the origins of hip hop and kind of celebrating the origins of hip hop, and just it's like little things, like Grandmaster Flash is in this, or somebody playing Grandmaster Flash, and just he's kind of teaching this other guy. It's the kid from Dope, and he's kind of teaching him how to become a DJ, and he's teaching him the tricks. And this is like so early days, you know, that it's like this is stuff that's not common knowledge to DJs. You know, this is stuff that he's inventing, like marking the record with a crayon to, you know, to mark where the break beat is. And in this show they call it the get down. But those aspects of it are what keep me watching it. There's kind of a corny love story in there too that I'm not particularly into, but I'm only 2 episodes in. The first episode is an hour and a half long, and it's directed by Baz Luhrmann. So the first episode definitely feels like it's more of a movie.
Yeah.
And then the rest of the episodes, there's 6 in total, are an hour long each.
I can't wait.
Yeah, I think I'll be very curious to see if you can get over how saccharine a lot of this show is.
We'll see.
Because I know you're not a Baz Luhrmann fan either.
No, but it'll make it easier with it being hip hop.
Yeah,
if it was anything else, I think I'd be like, nope, no fucking way.
Plus, a lot of it revolves around the state of New York City in the late 70s. I think it starts in 77. Nas plays a kind of a role in this too. Like I don't know if I don't want to give anything away, but I would say check it out. It's on Netflix. Did you see anything else?
I did not, no.
Okay. Let's move on and talk about some predictions. Last week, Sausage Party. You said 74. I said 86. Actual 82. I'm surprised it got such high ratings.
Yeah.
It's just interesting. Pete's Dragon. You said 64. I said 80. Or sorry. You said 64. I said 68. Actual 86 on that one. Yeah, apparently David Lowery did a really good job with it.
Yeah, I heard like one or the other. Like it's either fucking amazing or it's just awful.
It's interesting. I saw a couple of my Facebook friends saw it and said it was bad, but then I saw some critics on Twitter saying that it was really good. So I don't know. I'm
not really, because like I said, I never saw the first one, so
I didn't like the first one, so it's like
I can't say that my interest level is that high.
I'm gonna wait for that to hit Netflix or disc or VOD or whatever. Yeah. Florence Foster Jenkins, you said 52, I said 48, actual 87.
Christ. You were halfway through Foster and I fell asleep. Just oh my god. This week on fucking NPR, just every like commercial break, Florence Foster Jenkins. She got America on something about on their feet when they're down on their luck. It's just like, geez, shut up. This fucking movie.
Yeah, there's nothing that appeals to me about that one for sure. Next week we have Ben-Hur. The only thing interesting about this movie.
I thought this was a joke. The first time I saw a trailer for this, I thought it was one of those shitty like Christian movies. No. You know what I mean? It was just like, oh, this is going to be the new Christian movie that comes to Lancaster. And then it's like Ben-Hur, and it's like an actual studio, and you're just like, what the fuck is going on?
Why do we need this? The only thing interesting I learned about this movie is that they actually shot, like, the studio that they used, the soundstage, was actually the original one from the original Ben-Hur.
Yeah,
where they built all the sets and stuff.
But the thing about that is the people that would appreciate that are all fucking dead.
They're all dead.
So who gives a shit? No one wants to see Ben-Hur. Fuck Ben-Hur. Fuck that movie. No one's asking for this.
No, I think it's going to be awful. I'll say 32 on Ben-Hur.
I'm going to say 0.
All right. We also
who don't like Ben-Hur? I swear to God, if anyone likes Ben-Hur, you should lose your job.
It just doesn't. Nothing about it looks appealing at all. It just
looks god awful.
It just looks so terrible on every level.
And I've never seen the original, but there's a part of me that's probably the original's probably not good.
Here's what I'm wondering. Okay, and Ben-Hur is the latest one. Maybe Gladiator was the one that started this, where they just all these movies look the same. Like they use the same like color palette, and it just. And like that Gods of Egypt and all that stuff, they have this kind of sheen to them that it doesn't make it look like an old movie. It makes it look like a new movie that takes place in some sort of alternate universe. And it just, nothing about it looks genuine. It just looks all animated and entirely too clean. Like I would love to see, if you're going to do a Ben-Hur, I want it to be black and white. I want it to be gritty as fuck. I want it to be horrific. I want there to be like just horse shit everywhere. I want it to be like
He's the Hard to Be God by Ben-Hur.
Exactly. That's exactly the look that it should be, because I think that that's probably how it was back then. It was probably a fucking shit show nonstop.
Also, keep in mind this movie's 141 minutes.
Oh, Jesus.
He's in it, actually.
What?
It's about Jesus, so that's an apt response to this movie. Oh my goodness. Why?
Sorry, forget it. Kubo and the Two Strings comes out. This is the new one from Leica, the people behind Coraline and Paranorman.
Good stuff right there.
For some reason, this one's not really grabbing me. I mean, I'm sure it's going to be good, but this one just doesn't really grab me for some reason. I wasn't too into the box trolls, to be honest with you, but I loved Coraline and Paranorman, so this one I'm sure it's going to be good. Everything they make is good. What are you thinking on Kubo and the Two Strings?
I'd say 86.
That's exactly what I was going to say. I'll say 84. That's it for wide releases. Next week in limited release, we have Imperium. That's the one with Daniel Radcliffe, and he goes undercover as a skinhead. Yeah. Looks all right. I'll check it out. Why not? Sorry. I missed another big wide release. War Dogs comes out.
Okay.
That's the new Todd Phillips.
That's a Todd Phillips movie?
Wow. Yeah.
I did not know that.
I don't know what to think about this one. It's probably not going to be good, but I'm interested in checking it out nonetheless. It's with the one with Jonah Hill and why is his name escaping me right now? Miles Teller, yeah, sorry. True story about gun runners.
Okay.
I don't know. What are you thinking on War Dogs?
52.
All right. I'll say 43 on that one. We also have Morris from America. This is the one with Craig Robinson. It's about him and his son. They moved to Germany, I think. Seems interesting.
I want to see this. Yeah, I want to see this.
Yeah, seems interesting.
Who is the director of this one? Chad Hartigan? Is that his name? Chad Hartigan?
Chad Hartigan?
I'd say it like I'm waiting for Chad Hartigan to be like, yes.
Oh, yeah, that's me. Yeah.
That's me.
Yes, it's the guy that did This Is Martin Bonner. And
This Is Martin Bonner that was a good one.
Yeah, I remember you talking about that one. I didn't see it.
That was a good one. That was a nice that's a nice subtle one. I think that's on Netflix, isn't it? Still. I could be wrong, but...
So that's Morris from America. We'll probably be talking about that next week. Lo and behold, Reveries of the Connected World or something like that. It's the new Werner Herzog documentary.
Which I gotta say, I'm really happy because I don't think anyone's really dug into this yet. Really gone in depth with the how our world's connected. It's different than what it used to be. Like in the past, it wasn't connected, but now it is with technology. Like We need to start looking at this.
Well, it was like a cybersecurity firm that funded this movie, so it's like basically just like kind of a.
It's just everything.
I don't know. Nothing about this one. I love Werner Herzog, but this one just doesn't seem.
It just seems like everything's now. It's like how we can't connect in a connected world. It's like, give me a fucking break.
Yeah.
Stop.
Kingsglaive, Final Fantasy 15. This is a Final Fantasy movie that's coming out. I saw a trailer for this. The animation looks really good, but I'm sure the movie itself is garbage, like all the other Final Fantasy movies.
Yeah.
Spaceman. This is a comedy with Josh DeMille. Baseball comedy.
Oh man, baseball comedy?
Yeah. It's got a great poster too, like a old school style hand-drawn poster. I'm sure the movie itself does not look very good though. So,
Yeah.
I'm sure it's not
Oh
good.
boy.
Yeah. That's pretty much it for The People vs. Fritz Bauer also comes out in limited release. Next week on VOD we have Imperium, Lo and Behold, Reveries of the Connected World, Spaceman, and To Jennifer.
Okay.
Those come out on Friday. Tuesday the 16th, a movie called Bachelors comes out. It's a sex comedy.
Always. Bachelors don't do anything else.
they just batch it up. I would love to see a movie called Bachelors that's not a sex comedy. Like it's this very serious, dry political thriller.
It's essentially it's just about a guy that's buying new house plants for his apartment.
Buying Hungry Man dinners. He's trying to figure out which Hungry Man dinner he wants.
And he's not that good at, like, he doesn't have a green thumb. So it's just him over the course of 90 minutes. It's just, he bought these plants, they keep dying, and he's trying to figure it out. He keeps checking WikiHow, and it's just not working out.
I like this. I like this idea. I think we should actually make this movie. And it's just called Bachelor. And so many people are going to be so upset when they see it.
We'll cut the trailer as a sex comedy.
Yeah, exactly. And the poster is going to be like a girl's. I think that the poster for this one is like it's a woman's legs and like her panties are down around her ankles.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. All right. So next week on Blu-ray, we have looks like American Ninja 3 and 4 are getting re-released on Blu-ray. Nice. Yeah. God's Not Dead 2. What else do we got here? Backgammon. I think Backgammon is a good example of a well-cut trailer and really good like posters and things, but the movie itself I think looks pretty bad. I don't know though. I could be completely wrong. It might be amazing.
You never know.
Never know. Let's see what else is coming out. The Great Outdoors, The Burbs, The Money Pit. I feel like those movies, those three the two Tom Hanks movies, and then The Great Outdoors. I feel like those movies get re-released every 2 weeks.
I was just going to say, I thought it seems like we've talked about them.
We did out very recently.
Yeah.
I mean, how many? I mean, I'm glad because I remember there was a time when The Burbs never got released. Like it was so hard to find that movie. But now I guess it had a little bit. I think it's become sort of a cult classic.
Well, because everyone that grew up watching it on
I think TV, that's what it is. Yeah,
we're all that age now.
Yeah, and that's pretty much it. Like, there's the first American Ninjas coming out, Angry Birds, Saved.
Ooh.
Remember Saved?
Finally. Yeah, why is that coming out?
That's coming out on Blu-ray. I guess it's just now getting a Blu-ray release.
They really waited a long time. You guys got to be quicker with that shit.
Arrow,
cut that turnaround time down.
Arrow is releasing Microwave Massacre from 1983 on Blu-ray.
That sounds like a very interesting movie.
It has a really cool cover. I can tell you that.
I'm sure it has an awesome synopsis too. I can only imagine.
Man, Arrow Video. I mean, they're so good. I mean, they're even better than Scream Factory, I think. Let's see. Microwave Massacre. Construction worker Donald is having a hard time getting anything good to eat since his wife has decided to only cook gourmet foods. That and her constant harping cause him to snap, and he whacks her. Oh. Somewhere in the confusion, he comes up with a new use for the microwave oven and begins to eat much better. Soon he's experimenting with different recipes and different meals. Well, I know what I'm adding to my watch list this week.
Oh, God. That sounds amazing.
All right. What do we have on the Criterion front this week?
We have one Criterion. That's Ingrid Bergman, In Her Own Words. This is the documentary from 2015.
I started watching this week. But,
oh, yeah?
Yeah, I didn't finish it, though.
Oh. Narrated by Alicia Vikander.
Yeah. Interesting so far.
Oh, yeah?
I don't know a whole lot about Ingrid Bergman. That's why I wanted to check it out. So
that makes sense.
I haven't seen a whole lot of her movies. I've probably only seen 2 or 3, maybe, if that. Maybe
there
one.
You go.
I might have seen one of her movies. So, you know.
There you go.
I just am so behind on my classics. It's terrible.
Same here. There's so many dark spots in my film viewing. It's overwhelming.
Yeah. All right. I think that's going to do it for this week. Thank you so much for listening. You can send us your questions and topics to podcast@filmpulse.net. You can follow us on Twitter @FilmPulseNet and @FilmPulseKevin. And if you have a minute, take a look at our Patreon page, patreon.com/FilmPulse, and consider helping us out by becoming a subscriber. For Kevin Rakestraw, my name's Adam Patterson. We'll see you next week.